The United States is burning $2 billion a day on a war Congress never authorized, against a country whose strait controls 20% of the world's oil supply. And its own military just admitted it cannot keep that strait open. That is not a crisis. That is a structural collapse in slow motion. And one analyst called it months before the first bomb dropped. In the last video, we watched Russia quietly exploit America's distraction. Prediction 4. Russia and China move while the US bleeds in Iran. Went from pending to active. Today is Prediction 5. The one Professor Jiang Xueqin called the end game. His exact claim: this war will not just drain American resources, it will mark the end of the US-led unipolar moment, the 30-year era in which one country set the rules for everyone else. Jiang's framework is not commentary. It is psychohistory combined with game theory. He maps the payoff structures rational actors face under structural pressure, then shows what they are forced to do, not what they want to do, what the math makes them do. He was right about the strikes, right about the attrition, right about Russia moving, 3 for 3. So when he says Prediction 5 is not a question of if, only when, that is worth taking seriously. Here are the 3 historical parallels he builds the case on. First parallel, Britain after Suez, 1956. Britain invaded Egypt to retake the Suez Canal. The military operation succeeded. Then the United States, fearing Soviet escalation, forced Britain to withdraw. In 1 week, the world learned Britain could not act without American permission. The British Empire did not end with a battle. It ended with an invoice it couldn't pay and an ally that wouldn't back it. America today is Britain in 1956, except there is no larger power forcing it to stop. That is what makes this more dangerous, not less. Second parallel, America after Vietnam. Vietnam cost 58,000 lives, over 800 billion in today's dollars, and something harder to quantify, the credibility that comes from winning. But the deeper damage was structural. While America bled in Southeast Asia, Nixon was forced to take the dollar off gold. OPEC formed. The Soviet Union expanded. Every adversary read the same signal: America can be outlasted. Now run that forward. Russia is giving Iran real-time satellite intelligence on US warship locations. China just raised its defense budget 7% and is positioning as the post-war mediator. They are not watching, they are moving into the space. Third parallel, Rome at the frontier. Rome's decline did not begin at the capital, it began at the edges. Too many frontiers, legions stretched too thin. Resources flowing away from the center faster than they could be replaced. The United States has pulled THAAD batteries and Patriot systems out of South Korea to cover the Middle East. The Pacific Gap is now real and measurable. Every analyst in Beijing can see it on a map. History doesn't repeat, but the structure of overextension does every time. Where does Jiang's full scorecard stand? Day 15 of the Iran war. Prediction 1. Trump attacks Iran in early 2026. Confirmed. Operation Epic Fury launched February 28th. Prediction 2. Airstrikes impressive but insufficient. Confirmed. Approximately 6,000 targets struck. Iran's military capacity degraded. The country has not capitulated. CFR and Chatham House both agree. Prediction 3. A costly war of attrition follows confirmed active. The US is burning $1.43 to $2 billion per day. First week alone, over $11 billion. No congressional authorization, no visible exit strategy. Prediction 4. Russia and China exploit the distraction. Active. Russia is feeding Iran targeting data on US forces, oil revenues funding the Ukraine war, China playing mediator while quietly noting the Pacific has fewer American assets in it. Prediction 5. The Iran war ends the US-led unipolar moment. Active. Early stage. Here is what active looks like right now. The UK says the strikes are inconsistent with the principles it thought it shared with America. Canada has called them inconsistent with international law. Poland is publicly worried the war is draining weapons from Ukraine. The G7 met and agreed only to look into escorting ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Not to do it, to look into it. Foreign Affairs is running debates asking whether the unipolar moment has already ended. Brookings is publishing on whether this war accelerates American strategic decline. The Atlantic Council is asking 20 questions about the long-term consequences of the Iran war, and none of the answers are reassuring. This is not the end of the unipolar moment, but it may be the moment historians point to later and say, that is where it became irreversible. Here is the objection I know some of you are loading right now. America has been declared in decline before, after Vietnam, after Iraq, after 2008. It came back every time. So why is this different? That is the strongest version of the counterargument. Hold it, because the Suez parallel answers it directly. And the answer depends on one variable that has changed. Drop it in the comments. Britain's unipolar moment did not end the day Suez failed. It ended slowly, and then suddenly. The people living through it largely did not see it in real time. Are we in that same slow then sudden moment right now? Or is this just another scare cycle America weathers? Put your best argument in the comments. The strongest case against Prediction 5 gets pinned. If Jiang's framework holds, Prediction 5 does not resolve this year. It resolves over the next decade, in trade routes, currency systems, and alliance structures being quietly renegotiated right now. Subscribe to follow it in real time. The next video covers the one actor who stands to gain the most from everything happening in Iran. And it is not the country you are thinking of.